Absolutely.
We can start now. When you introduce him, okay? So, hello everyone. Shall we start? Good afternoon, everyone. So today we have exciting event. We are speaking about booster of the hydrogen economy, from talking to action. So definitely we have our delegation here are ready to participate. So international collaboration can be a key catalyst to accelerate the global energy transition and show us slowing down climate change and by facilitating the scale up of the green hydrogen production. A blueprint of effective climate and energy collaboration with the Emirati-Germany Partnership. The side event will present key successful factors and the catalyst of the project implementation and role of accompanying policy support and international collaboration. We have here also some of the logistic information. We will be live streaming this event, and the speaker participation virtually is His Excellency Engineer Yusuf Al Ali, as well as Dr. Dimitris. Now we'll speak about the agendas. First of all, we will have our honor to have His Excellency Stephen Fenzel, who the Parliament Secretary, State Secretary, Germany Federal Ministry for Economic Affairs and Climate Action. His Excellency takes his role at the Federal Ministry until 2022. Prior to that, he was joining the government. His Excellency was a member of Landtag of Lower Saxony from 1998 to 2021, and Environment Minister of Future of Commercial Reductive Waste Disposal Facility, Groblin. His Excellency is an agriculture economist and politician for the Alliance 2019, the Greens, and lies in Low Energy House himself. His Excellency also, I understand you are leading the energy transition as well, and you are tripling your goals. So, Your Excellency, there is one question from your side. If you can just give us opening remarks on how Germany will become a major importer of green hydrogen in Europe, as well as how Germany could support the run-up of hydrogen projects in partner of the countries, and what is the role does energy collaboration like the Emirati-Germany Partnership, climate partnership could play in this regard? Your Excellency.
Thank you very much for your question, and I'm very pleased to have the possibility to talk together at this panel and with all you guys who are interested in this future item. So we are living in a very challenging times. We have a war in Europe, and the Russian aggression against Ukraine accelerates the discussion about going on with more electricity efficiency, to use green hydrogen for our industry, and also to boost up the use of renewable energy. And so we are very interested to have good energy partnerships with other countries like UAE, where we can both have a win-win situation. So we have some strong companies with technology We have a lot of experience in the UAE too, and so I think it's very interesting to bring these things together. And we will launch the H2 Global project. It's a double tender where we, on one hand, we look at the supply side. For example, a country who has very good conditions to produce hydrogen with renewables, and on the other hand, we want to bring together the supply with the demand. The demand that would be maybe companies in Germany, but that could also be other countries in Europe, for example. And so Germany provides more than 2 billion euro. With a new budget, we will come hopefully to 5.6 billion euro for the International Hydrogen Corporation. And yeah, I would be very interested to hear what chances you see here in the region, and what are the plans of the companies who are able to build such electrolyzers. ThyssenKrupp Uhde is a strong company here, but also in 2021, Siemens built a first electrolyzer in the MENA region. And for us, the accelerating hydrogen, production of hydrogen is also a very important item for energy security, because we don't want to be dependent on a country like Russia, where we now see its use energy as a weapon.
Thank you, Your Excellency. So now also we have His Excellency Engineer Yusuf Al Ali. If you can open your camera, Your Excellency.
Yes, and I forgot to introduce here Nawal Al-Hanai. She's the Director for New Energy in the Ministry of Energy and Infrastructure in the United Arab Emirates. My name is Ellen Votsitzewitz. I'm the focal point on the German side. And we have a really good energy partnership since 2017. And now it's my great pleasure to also welcome Yusuf Al Ali. We would like to have you here, but it's a great pleasure you take your time from the UAE live now here to the COP27 in Egypt. His Excellency Yusuf Al Ali is the Assistant Undersecretary for Water, Electricity and Future Energy Affairs. And like State Secretary Stefan Wenzel, he's also responsible for the national implementation of the energy transition in the UAE, which didn't allow him today to come, unfortunately. Before he was joining the ministry, he was also working at Mazda. So here we close the loop again as a project developer for major big solar projects also in the UAE, but also in Europe. And he's an engineer from the Abu Dhabi Polymers and at the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company before. Thank you very much, Yusuf, for joining us today. So maybe you could tell us something about the UAE's hydrogen strategy. Where do you want to position the UAE in the global hydrogen way? Thank you.
Thank you for the introduction. Your Excellency Stefan, my dear friend Ahmed Ramahi, friends and colleagues, happy to be with you here today, especially while we are starting the second week of COP27. The messages that we got about the discussion happened so far in COP27 is really promising and positive when it comes to hydrogen. It reaffirms the role of hydrogen in our future energy transition. Hydrogen, for us in the UAE, hydrogen will play an important role over the next 30 years, not necessarily for the electricity generation, but definitely for emission reduction and decarbonization for industrial sector like aluminum and steel. These sectors will really require hydrogen in order to decarbonize. So going back, you mentioned your introduction as that I'm an engineer and I worked in Abu Dhabi Polymer. So my background goes to the petrochemical sector when I started my career 20 years ago. So what we used to do as part of our processes, we used to produce, or we still produce, hydrogen. We use this hydrogen to produce polymer as part of the process to produce polymer. So hydrogen, we are in the UAE have the expertise to produce hydrogen. And we can produce blue hydrogen in a very affordable price that can be considered or can be a fuel for a transitional period until we reach a time where green hydrogen will become feasible, will become economical, will become competitive. We need to be wise about the energy transition. It will take time to reach to the position that everybody desires. We know, and I think it's a fact that everybody knows and agrees on, that hydrocarbons is a limited resource, and we will reach a time where this resource will be reduced or the production will be declined, and we reach a day where it will be almost finished. For that day, we need to be prepared with other sources, and we think hydrogen will be an important source for the fuel, for the future fuel. Of course, when we talk about during this transitional period, we will need all type of energies. We need the solar energy, we need the wind energy, we need the nuclear energy, we need the natural gas, we need the oil, as well as the green hydrogen. All this kind of fuel will be required to support the economical growth worldwide. So what we do in the UAE, and here before starting about what we do in the UAE, I want really to thank our counterpart in Germany for this successful partnership, the Emirati-German Partnership that started in 2017. And from the UAE side, we find it really useful, and it supported a lot of activities that we are doing in the UAE. We were able to have many conferences, many events, where we were also, beside the two governmental entities, we were able to attract the many major players from the private sector. So from the UAE, Masdar, ADNOC, Mubadala, many other players, DIWA, Department of Energy in Abu Dhabi, with our colleagues from the Ministry of Climate Change and Environment. We are always there as part of this Emirati-German partnership to have discussion with our friends and partners from the private sector and governmental sector in Germany. Besides that, what we achieved as an outcome, we were able also to have Fraunhofer, the research institute, the German research institute Fraunhofer, as part of the consortium that will work on our hydrogen, national hydrogen strategy. This is an important output for this partnership, and we are proud that we are seeing the benefits of this partnership, and we will be able to work together through this partnership to reshape the UAE national energy strategy. So in the UAE, we think hydrogen will play an important role through the transitional period with the blue hydrogen and going to the era of green hydrogen. So we started last year with the roadmap that we issued during the COP26 in Glasgow, and really outlines the high-level targets and the high-level steps that the UAE will take in order to be part of the hydrogen economy. Also, last year, we were able to integrate the first green hydrogen pilot plant that was it's operational now in Dubai, beside many other projects in different parts of the UAE. Recently, also, together, UAE and Germany also demonstrated the ability to use hydrogen through the shipment of blue ammonia that arrived recently over the last 2 weeks to Germany. This also demonstration of the success of the UAE partnership that can lead to results. Now we are working together, as I mentioned, with the different stakeholders in the country, together with our consultant being Fraunhofer being one of the consortium members, in order to issue in order to put together the UAE national hydrogen strategy. The national hydrogen strategy, we are tackling the different elements and enablers that we believe will support the establishment of a successful hydrogen economy in the country. We are working on the pillar of R&D and education. We are working on the pillar of regulation. We are working on the pillar of funding and financing. We are working also on the pillar of R&D and technology deployment. We are also working on getting everybody together here in the UAE in a balanced framework, to establish a balanced framework for generation and supply and procurement of hydrogen. All this we believe we will be able to achieve through a true partnership and a bottom-up approach, where we will be closely working with the private sector, and as a government entity, us and our counterpart in Germany, we are facilitators, we are an enablers. We'll be there to support the private sector on whatever is required to help them establishing this important industry. Again, I repeat, all type of fuel are required to support our economical growth. Hydrogen, we need to work together on hydrogen in order to be affordable, to be economical. I mean here clean hydrogen. Blue hydrogen will play an important role during this transitional period. And thank you again. Thank you very much for being here. I will be glad and I will enjoy the different discussion that will happen through this event. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency, for your amazing remarks. Now we will have some inputs for scaling up the hydrogen production. We will start with Dr. Kort Landman. So Dr. Korb, he's the COO of Stens Corp ADA, and he was the COO since 2022. He is coordinating the company industrial plant construction and EPC contracts in the chemical refineries and industrial sectors, and he represents for more than 4,900 employees. He was founding member of E.ON Climate and Renewables, GmbH, and as COO for the engineering business with the Uniper Group. Dr. Korb holds PhD in finance. So, Dr. Korb, if we can ask you about the technology provider along the green hydrogen value chain. What do you think, considering as key levers for the hydrogen market run-up?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the question. And first of all, good morning, good day. It's a pleasure to be here to talk with the distinguished guests here about the hydrogen economy. Before I start, I represent ThyssenKrupp Uhde, which is the chemical part of ThyssenKrupp. And ThyssenKrupp, as a long-standing 200-year-old German company, is one of in a quite a unique position, because ThyssenKrupp has 3 different levers and angles in the hydrogen society. First one, we have a huge steel business. We are Europeans' single most important and largest demander and off-taker of hydrogen in the future. Steel. We have a big off-take in ThyssenKrupp. Second one, we have ThyssenKrupp nucera, who is, I think, the forefront of supplying electrolyzers. So we also cover the supply side of how to produce hydrogen. And the third angle is this what I represent. It's what we call infrastructure. So we have the technologies to provide all the value chain from the supply up to the demand. So we can be in charge for everything from hydrogen production via production of ammonia as a derivative, the logistics, the shipping, the unloading, all the way through to cracking and then reuse of hydrogen in chemical industries and in steel. As such, ThyssenKrupp is quite a unique position in that area. And what are the levers? I think from our perspective, there's some courage. You want to be at the forefront, because I see this, and you talked about this. I worked for a long time in the renewable energy, and it's similar like solar and wind a couple of years or 10, 15 years ago. There needs to be an ignition effect somehow. You have to be at the forefront, you have to start, you have to invest, and then the first projects have to get going. We right now see, I think, a lot of projects in the making, and we are one of the leaders worldwide also doing studies and consultancy on hydrogen. And as such, we see a lot of projects which are on the edge of being, let's say, FID'd. And we see, as I heard before, I think right now a bridge of right now blue technology, blue ammonia, and then of course also at the end green ammonia and green hydrogen. But what it takes care that you need to have a first ignition to get the first projects really FID'd. And for those things, and that's why we talk here, we need partnerships. Partnerships of all the relevant stakeholders, which are the demand side, the supply side, of course the technology, the financing, and yes, the government regulatory bodies. And you see here, I think, a couple of representatives, and we in Germany, we have very much, let's say, interest in developing this industry. And as a very reliable, long-standing partner for our customers, we are there, we have been there to be one of the partners to, let's say, develop this society. That you might not know, if we are here in Egypt, I think almost 70 years ago, 70 years ago, we built the first green ammonia and green hydrogen plant here in Aswan, in Egypt. So 70 years ago, some time ago. And yes, ThyssenKrupp is also involved in the NEOM project. And we heard yesterday about the announcement of Skotak, so we are also there as an integrator involved in the projects. At the very end, what it needs to be, a collaboration, a partnering of companies with technology know-how, with the offtake, with the supply of the regulation and the governments, and then of course some courage to get this industry going. But from my perspective, let's say not a matter of if, it's only a matter of when. If you talk about the numbers, we talked about this. I think given the current crisis in the energy markets, as of today, hydrogen is competitive. Yeah? If you take the numbers today and the good solar sources for wind and sun, and also in Europe the solar sources, I think the costs of hydrogen and the cost of production are already at equal level. Yes, it's also because of the crisis in the energy market on the traditional markets like oil and gas. But in the future, with the ramp up and the further scale of hydrogen, costs will dramatically go down. And I'm convinced that there will be a big society, and the energy transition won't work without hydrogen. As such, we want to be a partner like Germany. We see the partnerships with UAE and Germany, which are in place since a couple of years. And for this, I think we have all the means to get the right parties on the table and then scale up the economy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Landsmann. As we are talking about companies, we are not only talking here about government to government. Today it's a mixed format. We're talking about government and companies. I would like to introduce the first company representative from the United Arab Emirates, Mr. Mohammed Abdelkader El-Ramahi. He's the Director for Asset Management and Technical Services at Mazda. And to introduce himself, he's been since 2011 at Mazda. He has 20 years of experience. He has worked for the DEWA, the Dubai electricity companies. He holds degrees from London and Jordan University, and he's in the board of major renewable energy projects in the Emirates, such as Shams 1 and others. It's my great pleasure to introduce you. Mazda is the new entity in the United Arab Emirates to drive all the hydrogen projects, to work together with ThyssenKrupp and other German companies to realize this project. Thank you very much, Mr. Al-Ramai. Thank you for your intervention now.
Oh, thank you very much, Helen. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's such an exciting day and an exciting platform under the umbrella of an exciting event, the COP27. And what's better than meeting here together with our German friends to discuss green hydrogen? And I believe this is where you want to be. Germany has a very special status when it comes to energy, especially nowadays. Three elements play a very important role when it comes to Germany. Number one, Germany, one of the top 5 economies in the world, leading nation globally in industries, an energy-intensive country that drives its economy through the fast track of heavy industries and the deployments of technology. So energy plays a very important role. Number two, we know that Germany is also one of the leading nations when it comes to government regulatory frameworks and the biggest promoters of net zero, decarbonization, and sustainability, thus driving the sector. It's very important to influence the governance and the regulatory frameworks to enable the growth and scalability of that sector. And thirdly, unfortunately, Germany is in the midst of the European Union dilemma of the Ukrainian-Russian war, which has casted a shadow of economic deceleration, migration of heavy industries, and very expensive energy. I had a very interesting discussion the other day with a group of our German partners. They implied that in 2 months in August and September, the cost of energy in Germany reached as high as 800 euros per megawatt hour. So this calls a quick action, the acceleration of alternative energies, safe, sustainable, and most importantly, environmentally friendly. In the energy transition sector, I believe green hydrogen is key. It's a very important player in the role of transferring us into the new era of net zero and decarbonization. It's the most important ingredient for the hard-to-abate sectors, for heavy industries, and it will play a very important role complementing the renewables into taking us into our commitment globally to decarbonization and net zero. Now, UAE and Germany are very close. We've been partnering with Germany since decades now. There are many platforms that structure that fruitful and prosperous partnership. We at Masdar value this relationship. We've been on the ground for the past 16 years. We're the champions of renewables. We set pace for others to follow. We were the leaders, continue to be the leaders. We have now a portfolio that exceeds 15 gigawatt of renewable, more than 40 countries, with a gross investment of $20 billion. Our ambitions grow over and beyond, and now our targets will go up to 100 gigawatt and beyond, especially after the creation and reinforcement of Masdar as a powerhouse under the umbrella of the three giants of the energy sector of Abu Dhabi, now Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, ADNOC, and Abu Dhabi National Energy Company, TAQA, joining forces with Mubadala. There is another business vertical that is being created, and by the way, I've been leading this business vertical for almost 2.5 years now, which is the Masdar Green Hydrogen. We want to play a very important and prominent role into becoming one of the first movers and one of the major players in that sector. We are targeting at least 5 to 8% of the global green hydrogen market, with emphasis on two strategic segments, which is global maritime and global aviation. We're targeting at least 15%. When it comes to Germany, Germany is where you want to invest, where you want to target. Once again, not only Germany is a leading nation and has great needs of energy and one of the drivers when it comes to regulations, not only that, we know that Germany has the right infrastructure, pipeline, underground storage, has advanced all these infrastructure development plans. Germany has commitments on the grounds. Germany has already announced just recently, after passing through the parliament, the very first batch auctioning electricity that is going to be produced from green hydrogen. The first batch in 2023 is going to be 800 megawatt, 24 1 gigawatt, and 26 1.4 gigawatt. This is now out open for bidding and auction. We intend, of course, to participate. We have many of the projects that are in Abu Dhabi, because one of our strategic objectives is to position Abu Dhabi as a global hub for the production and export of green hydrogen and derivatives to the world. Of course, Germany is a key market. And our intentions to go up to tens of gigawatts of electrolyzer capacities by the year 2030, and a big chunk of that would be directed to Europe, especially Rotterdam and Hamburg, which are two key hubs for the import of green hydrogen for Germany. We have built relationships in the green hydrogen spectrum with great German partners, long-term strategic to start with Siemens. Siemens has been our partner, one of our anchor tenants in Masdar City, and we work very closely with Siemens. And Siemens was one of the pioneers in the manufacturing in the PIM electrolyzer, and we have Siemens with us in the Green Falcon projects, which hopefully will be one of the large-scale, multi-faceted, multi-product pilot in the city, where we intend to produce not only green hydrogen, but also sustainable aviation fuel, which is already committed by Lufthansa and Etihad Airlines. And we are targeting 2,000 to 5,000 liters by the year 26-27. Also, we've partners with Linde, with Uniper, on other projects in Abu Dhabi. We are exploring opportunities to explore with other great German institutions. ThyssenKrupp is one of which in the steel industries, and we were chatting in the room before the panel to explore these potentials even moving forward. We believe that we can grow this interest between UAE and Germany, UAE being a key player, UAE being one of the favorable places for us to produce hydrogen cost effectively due to the abundance of our solar irradiation and the availability of our infrastructure and export facilities to Germany and to the world. Our strategy and business plan is quite ambitious. We have great appetite when it comes to capital investment, and we are targeting the 5 main market segments, including green ammonia for feedstock in Europe, for co-firing, and for all sorts of petrochemical industries, including the derivatives that require biogenic CO2, especially when we talk about sustainable aviation fuel and bunkering, including e-methanol and green kerosene. Also, direct hydrogen that is used directly at refineries, and DRI. So all market segments is part of our business plan, and we have great ambitions to continue growing our interest and our relationships when it comes to partnership between us and Germany. Lastly, when I hosted Deputy Chancellor Dr. Habeck in Masdar, and he spent 2 hours in Masdar, I was with him all the time. I took him through the journey of Masdar and our ambitions when it comes to green hydrogen. He was quite impressed with the Green Falcon project. He said, you know, Muhammad, let's replicate that in Germany and make a green eagle. So Falcon is small and it represents UAE symbol. Eagle is big and represents the German government symbol. Let's scale it up and make the Great Eagle. So let's do the Great Eagle as we progress. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mohammed. I would really like to see Green Eagle and Green Falcon flying. So we are very much looking forward to this. And also the gigawatt project with the German industry. I think this is really a milestone for the COP28, and we really look forward to that. I see already State Secretary Wenzel would like to engage in the discussion, but we have one last speaker I would like to introduce virtually. And just one question everybody has in Germany and also the German public. Why the United Arab Emirates? Why ADNOC, one of the biggest oil companies in the world? And with that, I would like to give Dr. Dimitrios Dimitrou, as a manager of hydrogen business for the Abu Dhabi National Oil Company, the word. He has more than 15 years of business development, asset management, and consulting experience. He's developing at the moment for ADNOC the hydrogen strategy. So please, Dr. Dimitrios, let us know what is ADNOC's perspective, why an oil company invests in hydrogen and green hydrogen for the future.
Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to be here representing Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. As you know, we are in an integrated national energy company supported by long-standing partnerships and world-class companies. And recently, the last couple of years, we've been focusing our attention towards the energy transition and towards the hydrogen economy. So 2 years ago, we formed our new hydrogen business with a clear ambition of becoming a leading player in this industry. However, we don't believe that we have started from scratch. We already have on the ground around 300,000 tons of hydrogen installations and capacities that they are support various businesses that we have, such as the refining business and the fertilizer business. So we have a very a long and deep experience of the hydrogen value chain, the traditional hydrogen value chain. So now, the last couple of years, we've been looking to expand our capability towards the clean hydrogen, be it blue or green. We have a dual strategy, so we're not only focusing on blue. We recognize that green is the end game, and we also recognize that the way to do business in this nascent industry is through collaborations with value chain players. We've been very active on this front. in all parts of the globe, where we believe that the products that we will be producing will be placed and there would be demand, such as Asia and most recently Europe and Germany. Through this Energy Security and Industry Accelerator, there are a number of projects that we are focusing on various vectors. We are not looking just at one vector, although our first project in 2025 will be focusing on blue ammonia. We are also studying all vectors. We believe that there is a place for everything, including LOHC. We're also looking at sustainable aviation fuels with Masdar and other partners here in the UAE for potential exports, as well as liquid hydrogen. So we are not exclusively looking at, we believe that, there is a place for everything. We think of Germany as a significant and key market for the UAE and ADNOC in the future. And therefore, we hope that the projects that we have in the pipeline through this Energy Security and Industry Accelerator would result in building strong value chains for the several years to come to decarbonize both our local industry here and as well as contribute towards the decarbonization goals of Germany. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Dimitros. So, Your Excellency, Stephen Vance, after hearing from the company their great capabilities and their great ambition as well, so any insight or feedback from your side?
So, I've got it here. I'm looking for the microphone. Yeah, I would like to thank you for mentioning all these ideas for projects, and projects are already on the way. For example, the test cargo with low carbon ammonia, a very important lead product, for example, to produce fertilizer. And on the other hand, I think it's also a very good project to work together on sustainable aviation fuel. You're a strong nation with your hub in Abu Dhabi, and so that might be a good possibility to go to the future fuels here too. And I think that's a lot of chances we have if we put our knowledge, our know-how, and our abilities, our finance capacity, our technology together for this energy partnership. And I think, even what Mr. Landsberg say, we will see this technology will setting prices which are future times the lead prices for in a very even with a big influence for the prices of fossil fuel, because in regions where you have a very good production capacities for renewables, it will have a big influence of the price, for example, for sustainable fuel for aviation. And that's maybe a couple of years ahead, but not so very far. And we have to invest now, work together very closely here. And I'm happy also that you mentioned the visit of my minister, Robert Habeck. I think he was very impressed what he see, and I hope we can accelerate all this now.
Looking forward to it.
I think this is only the beginning and not the end. So I hope also Stefan Wenzel will have the chance to come to the United Arab Emirates. I think there's a lot to discuss. Unfortunately, the site event comes to an end here. But I would like to invite everybody to the next Energy Day with the United Arab Emirates and Germany on the 15th of January in Abu Dhabi at the World Future Energy Summit. So that's a nice opportunity also to see what's happening. And then we are very much looking forward for the projects to be implemented. Thank you very much, all the participants today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you.
you.